Hi, I'm Gina Schmidt, and Mrs. O'Gorman is my aunt, and this is my son Tommy, and he has a condition called lissencephaly, and my husband's going to talk to you a little bit about that. But first I'm going to tell you about how we got Tommy. Now, my husband and I always wanted to have kids, but I couldn't because of my own medical problems, so we never really thought we would have kids. And then my mom, she worked for a family law attorney, and one day she got a call from a woman who was 7 months pregnant and she needed to give up her baby for adoption. So my mom called me and told me about her, and we got in touch with her, and we met her one Saturday, and she liked us, and we signed an intent to adopt, and my husband called an attorney, like the first one he found in the phone book, and he happened to answer his phone on a Saturday, and 2 months later we had our little baby, and we had to hurry and get our house all set up and have some baby showers. We were getting really excited. And one night we're just sitting around watching TV. It was like 11:30 at night, and we got the call that the birth mom was in labor. So we headed up to a couple hours to the town where my parents lived, and we were there at the hospital when he was born, and we got to be in the nursery and hold him, and it was like the best day of our lives because we had this little miracle that we had always wanted. We had our little baby, and the first night we stayed at a hotel, and he cried and cried all night and chased the people in the next room away in the middle of the night. So he was lots of fun ever since the very first day he was born, but we just love him to death. And we unfortunately found out about 3 months later that he had this medical condition when he started having seizures. And my husband will tell you a little bit more about that.
Go.
So I'm Matt, I'm Tommy's father, and like Gina was saying, Tommy started having spasms when he was about 3 months old. The first time I noticed it was in early October, and I thought that he was trying to poop. He was bringing his arms forward, he was bringing his legs up. It was actually kind of cute, but we didn't really know what was going on, and he did it for a few days, and then we were on a trip. We went to the Central Coast of California, we went down to San Diego, and he was doing it more and more, and Gina obviously was quite concerned about it. So I did a little bit of research at home that night and saw that it could have been something serious. And when we called our pediatrician, and she said to bring him to the emergency room right away, that it was pretty serious. So we took him to the emergency room. He spent a couple hours up here in Menifee in the emergency room, and then they sent him down to see some specialists down in San Diego, and that's where he was diagnosed with lissencephaly, which literally means smooth brain. They did a CAT scan of him the next day, and when they looked at the CAT scan, they realized that his brain had not fully developed when he was in his birth mom's uterus. So where if you looked at a normal brain, it would have all the grooves, and it would have the development. Tommy's brain is very smooth and underdeveloped. So when he was a baby, we thought it was just fussiness, maybe colic, but it turns out that he had a neurological disorder. So that was October of 2010 when he was diagnosed with lissencephaly. He was in the hospital for about a week. He was given medicine to control his seizures. And over the course of the last 4.5 years, he's had more medicines as well to help with his issues. Tommy, go ahead and pause it there. So one of the first things we noticed that Tommy was having difficulty with was his eating. Even before he started having the seizures and the infantile spasms, he was having a hard time eating. Now, as luck would have it, I was on summer break, so I was able to stay up with him, and if he needed to eat during the day or during the night, I was able to take care of that. But as he got older, he had more and more trouble swallowing his formula. the doctors recommended that we thicken his formula because the issue that he was having is he was aspirating it. He was actually inhaling it into his lungs. So the food wasn't getting into his stomach, it was getting into his lungs and causing pneumonia and breathing issues, things like that. Even when he would eat, he wouldn't eat a lot. So when Tommy was a little older, and Gina will zoom in a little bit here, he had a feeding tube installed, which goes directly into his digestive system. So when we feed him, we open up this port and we plug in a feed bag, and he's able to eat that way. So Tommy no longer eats anything through the mouth because he was just having too many issues with aspirating and having trouble swallowing. So now when Tommy eats, he eats through the feeding tube. So over here, we have, this is how he eats. We put formula in here, and even though it is flavored, he doesn't taste it because it goes directly to his stomach. And he can eat while he's awake, he can eat while he's asleep. We can feed him as quickly as half an hour, or we can spread it out over several hours, whatever works easier for Tommy and for us that day. So this has obviously helped him out a great deal, because when he stopped eating, he was actually diagnosed as a failure to thrive, which is one of the leading causes of death with lissencephaly. When Tommy was diagnosed in 2010, I did some research on the prognosis of the disease, and it has gotten a little better in the last 5 years. But in 2010, the numbers broke down pretty much, about 4,000 kids per year are born with lissencephaly. This was back in 2010. 25% of them die within the first month. Another 25% usually die within the first year. Another 25% usually die before their second birthday. So 75% don't make it to their second birthday. But Tommy's 4.5, so Tommy's been able to make it, pretty far. Unfortunately, the life expectancy is anywhere between 10 and 15. In 2010, we did some research. We struggled to find kids with lissencephaly older than 13, but Tommy's condition. So even though he has a shortened life expectancy, we still definitely are doing all that we can for him. We're giving him the best medical care that we can, and he has friends. He goes to school 3 days a week. He has a nurse that comes and takes care of him 5 days a week, and that's helped out quite a bit, because he used to go to a regular daycare with a regular population of children, but it became problematic because the ladies who were running the daycare, they had to spend too much time taking care of Tommy. That was back when he was still eating from the bottle, and they could spend an hour and a half to 2 hours trying to get him to eat, and that's an hour and a half, 2 hours where they were just focusing on him, and it was just becoming too difficult. So luckily the state of California, they have a program for kids with special needs like this, and as Tommy grew older, we noticed other issues. As he became bigger and stronger, his arching, where he tries to arch back, pretty much trying to get the back of his head to touch the back of his legs. If you were awake, you would see that. Another kind of side effect of the meds, he often gets his days and nights mixed up. So Tommy's been sleeping most of the afternoon today. He'll probably get up in a couple hours, be up most of the night, and then kind of sleep again during the daytime. But the arching became an issue, and as he got bigger and stronger, the easiest way to take care of it was through medication. So again, if you want to zoom in, so not long ago, about a year ago, he had a pump installed, and you can kind of see it. It's in his belly. It's about the size of a hockey puck. And you can see the scar right there. So it was surgically implanted. You got his feeding tube here, and you have the pump here. You can see that this has a drug called baclofen in it that helps him with his arching. Now he still arches, and he still arches very strong, but it has helped a little bit, and it's able to calm him down a little bit as well. Go ahead.
All right, Tommy. He has a brain of a 1-month-old, so there's a lot of things he can't do, but he can hear, he can see, and he does respond to us. We can tell if he really likes something, or he'll definitely tell you if he doesn't like something. But he likes to have his head rubbed and his feet massaged, you know, just like anybody does. So we like to do those things for him. And because of his arching, he has some special equipment around the house. He's got this wheelchair. It's kind of like a wheelchair stroller, but it helps keep his back straight, keep him from arching, so that helps his spine, because his spine does have a curvature and it's not really growing the right way. So this kind of helps him to stay straight. And then over here he has, it's called a standing frame. And we put toys on it, and he does like, interacts with the nurse and with us, and we play with him and play music for him when he's in the stander. And what this does is it keeps his back straight, but it also puts weight on his legs so that his legs don't deteriorate and atrophy or just lose the muscle tone. Because right now he has very strong muscles. So he goes in this a couple times a week, and he can stay in there for like up to an hour and does really well in that. And during the days, because we don't want to keep him in the equipment all the time, because we want him to be comfortable. So we have like this bed for him. It's a big cushion, and he lays on here, and he'll listen to the TV, or sometimes he likes to watch The Price is Right because of all the lights and the music. So we'll watch that together some days. He does have trouble where he will hold his breath for up to 30 seconds, and that's not really good for the brain. The brain needs oxygen. So we have oxygen tanks here where, you know, we can give that to him if he needs it, especially when he's sleeping. He also has an oxygen tank in his bedroom so that during the night when we're not able to watch him, we can put an oxygen on him. This is his suction machine, and one of his problems is he can't cough up all the secretions from his lungs, and so sometimes we have to help him and suck out some of that gunk that's in there. So we do that for him, and his nurse does that for him so that we can just help him be more comfortable.
Go.
All right, so this is Tommy's bedroom, and you know, even though he doesn't really understand what's in here, we want to make it like a nice, cool room for a kid. So, as you can see, we've, you know, decorated the room, and he's got lots of stuffed animals on the bed, and he does have a hospital bed, and this, you know, he grew out of the crib, just got too big and heavy for it. So, this bed has the railings and things to help keep him protected, and so he doesn't fall out. This is his oxygen machine that it actually makes its own oxygen from the air, and does that so he could use that while he's sleeping. And as you can see, he's got a lot of equipment and storage in here because, you know, with all his issues, he has to have a lot of stuff. But you know, we try to find places to put it and just kind of make his room comfortable for him, but still have all the things that he needs. We change him on this bed because he does still wear diapers, and he'll wear diapers for the rest of his life. Obviously, because he can't walk or talk, and he doesn't understand how to, you know, get up and go to the restroom. So that's something he'll never be able to do. So we just have this nice large area where we can. It's like a giant changing table, but it's like soft and comfortable for him when we need to take care of that.
Yeah.
So even though Tommy's got some challenges, we definitely love him so much. He's the best thing that ever happened to us. We were so lucky to get him. And we still try to do as many normal things with him as we can. For his birthday, we took him to Disneyland, and we took him to a lot of the attractions. He couldn't go on a lot of the rides, but he was able to go on It's a Small World with his wheelchair. And so we took a lot of pictures of that and video of that because that was his first, you know, amusement park ride.
And you got to meet Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, he got to meet Mickey Mouse. He's got several cousins, 3 of whom live within about an hour's drive of here, and he sees them quite a bit, and they're great with him. They love kissing him, and they love hugging him, and they love taking care of him. They like to help feed him. They like to help do his medicine. And so his cousins are really great with him. and all his aunts and uncles and his grandparents. They all love him so much because he's such a special little guy. But yeah, we try to do as much normal stuff as possible with him. You know, we've taken him to the movies. He went and saw Despicable Me 2. He liked the bright lights of the big screen, and he liked the noise. You know, he doesn't scare. He's not ticklish, but you know, he's a great little guy. I kind of wish he was awake so you could see his beautiful blue eyes. But right now he's finishing up his night's sleep, and he'll be starting his morning here pretty soon. But other than that,
We love him so much.
yes,
We wouldn't change him for anything.
my little guy.
He's perfect.
Yes, he is.